Welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Please support us for checking out our new relationship ebook Revive Your Love for in the description. This is my throwaway account. I'm aware that this is about to be complicated and that logically it doesn't make sense, but here I am. Unfortunately, due to the holidays I haven't been able to meet with my therapist for a few weeks. I do plan on bringing this up Monday. Background: I met James on an anonymous social media app in 2012. I was barely 18 in my freshman year of US college and I honestly don't remember how old he was, but it wasn't more than a couple years older than me and he was in the UK military. I was single and it didn't start as anything other than a friendship, but as it progressed to something more flirtatious and sexual I just assumed he was single as well. About 8 months in, and after there were significant feelings on my side, he finally revealed he was married. I immediately cut contact and thought that was that. Well, roughly 6 months later we ended up talking on that same anonymous app again out of millions of people. I was young, dumb, and in love and had still been thinking about him and thought it was fate. We picked right back up where we were. I knew it wasn't right, but he sent a lot of mixed signals. I'm honestly still confused about it all because he literally invited me to come visit him when he was going to have leave in the country he was stationed in. He went along with planning an imaginary wedding and then honeymoon. This affair went on for roughly 6 years, I think. I've tried to forget a lot of it. It definitely ruined/prevented some relationships during that time. However, when it got closer to me graduating and figuring out next steps in life and I finally point blank asked him if he'd leave his wife, he said probably not. Cue the tears. It still took months to actually stay away from him, and in reflection I know our relationship wasn't healthy. I still missed him, but started moving on. Doing the Tinder thing mostly unsuccessfully until I met my now husband almost 4 years ago. My husband, John, 31M, and I just kinda clicked right away and I can still confidently say he's my best friend. The downside is we were both very sexually inexperienced. I'd had 2 partners prior to my husband and he'd never been with anyone before me. I'm not saying I necessarily even have a high sex drive, but my husband and I moved 4 months ago and have had sex in our new place once. I've honestly given up even trying to initiate sex because I hate being turned down. I really do love John and the life we have together, but I miss being wanted and the overt flirtatiousness of James. James also never really gave up on me, and even when we stopped talking I'd still get a Snapchat or an email every 6 to 8 months just checking in or letting me know he missed me and hoped I was doing well. Normally I just ignored them, but was petty one time and sent him my engagement ring. He told me it was beautiful and John was a lucky guy. But he still tried to reach out. James and I finally had an emotional conversation, I guess almost 2 years ago, where I had to unfriend him on Snapchat. The problem is that the more I don't feel sexually wanted by my husband, the more I'm missing James even though he's still married. It's a terrible idea, and I don't want to hurt John. I'm just at a loss. TLDR, I had a virtual affair with James for literally years. It wasn't healthy and ruined potential relationships of mine. Finally cut him off. Found a great husband, John, but don't feel sexually wanted. So now I'm missing James and know it's a terrible situation. Here are some best comment from the community. So truly, let's stop being an idiot. Let's stop playing dumb. You aren't over James, you never were, and you thought getting married to someone might help you to get over him. Guess what, honey, you aren't a child anymore, you're 28, okay? Look, I'm going to be blunt and I'm gonna tell you straight, get a fucking divorce. You weren't ready to be in a relationship. You did it in hopes of stop being in love with James. It's not going to happen because you don't take steps for it to happen. Why isn't he blocked? Why isn't his email blocked? Why do you know he still checks on you? If you were truly over this person, and I mean before you decided to get married to John, then you would have blocked him on everything, and anytime he tries to reach out you wouldn't read anything but block him again. You have to start seeing James and John for what they really are to you. James is a lying, cheating narcissist who wants his cake and eat it too. John is just your rebound that you were trying to force on yourself to stop thinking you were in love with James. Stop playing stupid games because you will keep winning stupid prizes, and that is your heart being broken. Also, hun, there is no future with James. Even if he left his wife, do you really want to be with a cheater you can't trust? If he can do it to her, he can do it to you. He does not love or care about you, only what he can get out of you. If you like what you are listening so far, remember to check out our ebook to support us in the description. You need to be single and learn to love yourself and learn your damn worth. Stop settling as well. Just because someone is a good and nice person or would be a good and secure person doesn't mean he's yours. If they don't fit, they don't fit, and you should have known he didn't before you married him. Did you all not have sex prior to getting married? You aren't getting any younger, and you keep screwing. A taken person keeps your karma fucked up, and you won't ever find your true person. Stop with James and block him on everything. Shut that damn door. He isn't love, he's lust. He doesn't know love and never will. Get a divorce from John. All he is safe. You're right, I'm not necessarily over James, and I don't know that I ever will be. Where you're wrong is that he is blocked. Has been for 2 years. Took about 1.5 years into my relationship with my husband to finally work up the nerve to do it. I did tell my husband every time James reached out while we were dating, and the only time other than the conversation about blocking him I responded to was to send him a photo of my engagement ring, which my husband knew I did. Also, I've spent way more time single than I have in relationships. That's half the reason my husband and I work so well, is we both like time to ourselves. That was also a benefit of James being in the military. He'd be gone half the time, and why I was toxically attracted to military men for a while. Haha, I'm actually much more self-aware than you're giving me credit for. I dated a number of guys after cutting off James before marrying John. I do truly love John the first, just don't feel wanted by him, or I'm not truly attracted to him, which is something I've known from the beginning, but I wasn't attracted to James at the beginning either. And I thought John's personality and being my best friend would make up for it, since the sex is good if we ever have it. And we had sex probably about every other month prior to moving in with one another. Now it's like quarterly, if that. You are in a much better place than thought. I am happy for you that you were able to change. If the thoughts bring you distress like this, they are likely intrusive thoughts that happen to some people with OCD. Do you have any history of obsessive or compulsive thoughts? Even people without a history of cheating get these thoughts. Your actions are what you can control and what matters. You can share the thoughts with your husband. Sharing burdens helps lessen the weight and make you closer. Though you might need help from the therapist, because with wrong choice of words, he might misunderstand and things might get worse. Start taking your relationship seriously by not being casual but rather serious when you two talk. Come up with defined goals, and set a date for them to be reached. Follow up in 3 days. This doesn't mean that you both have simultaneous orgasms next Tuesday, but you both start taking small programmed steps at developing intimacy, like massages, and romantic settings, and reading each other poetry or sharing your own secrets. You need to convey to your husband how important this is to you, and have him explain his feelings beyond okay or next time. James isn't real and has zero value to your life with your husband. Your therapist should be able to teach you cognitive methods/tools to get him out of your head. Does your husband have a lower libido than you or is asexual? Does your husband have shame or some psychological hang-up towards sex? I think you and your husband need single or couple counseling. Also, your husband needs to consciously and deliberately invest in more acts of romance and desire in the relationship to make it more sustainable. Emo James, we just more sexually experienced, practice improves skill, or sexually compatible. Practice, desire to improve, and communication will help your husband improve his sex skills over time. An enthusiastic novice will improve and surpass a bored indulgent veteran.